people of YouTube, my name is Steve Gray, and thank you for watching. If you're new here, please hit that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell, leave a like, and feel free to comment down below what you would like me to do for future anime and cartoon related videos. So before we get started, I just want to say Harley Quinn is coming back, so I will be reviewing that. And the new series I am reviewing right now, as you have read by the title, is Tower of God. So we are talking about Tower of God Season 1, Episode 1, and I am both intrigued, confused, and annoyed all at the same time, if that makes sense. Because we have really no backstory currently. There was some cool semi-fighting scenes, some characters whose names I'm probably already forgetting. The main three characters that I'm taking away out of this particular episode are Bam, he is the main character, Rachel, the girl he is trying to climb the tower to get, and then there is the Tower Master Rabbit dude who has the same voice as Jiraiya, and I was like, oh my god, where is that voice from? And I looked it up, and same voice actor as Jiraiya, so I thought that was pretty freaking cool. So, yet again, no backstory. The entire premise so far that we have is that Rachel wants to go to the top of the tower. She turned into flower petals for whatever reason, and Bam, because Rachel... We had a little backstory that somehow Rachel saved Bam from some sort of cave that he was in. He was trying to break out of some dark cave or something, and Rachel managed to break through to save him as he was trying to break through himself. And that's why he wants to go to see Rachel and find her, and he will find her with his dying breath. So he isn't climbing the tower for riches, for immortality, anything, power, anything along those lines. He is strictly climbing the tower because he wants to find his friend Rachel, which is a very noble cause, which is why I think he will inevitably get to the top of that tower, no matter what challenges he faces. So he enters the tower somehow. Apparently it's some crazy magical tower. He's called the Irregular because he is one of the ones that wasn't like born in the tower, I'm guessing is why he's called the Irregular. He was one of the ones that found the door and basically forced his way into it. The Tower Master, which is like crazy magic rabbit dude, kind of like a shark face almost looking thing. He's very weird looking, very peculiar looking character. For whatever reason, gives him his first task as being like one of the tasks that's even like the hardest, possibly even on the 20th floor. So we have no idea how many floors there are. I'm gonna go ahead and throw out 100. I'm gonna guess we're gonna say it's kind of similar to Sword Art Online, where it's this giant, crazy, magical tower. Each level is harder than the last one. And that's how it is. So he ends up basically going against this giant serpent-like character. And he realizes that the only way to defeat this character is he can't actually defeat it from the outside because it's very heavily armored. So there's really no way to defeat it. So he accepts his fate, gets eaten, cuts off the thing's tongue, and then tries to break this orb thing in order to get to the next level. The weapon that he has is this cool Sasuke-esque looking dark sword with this kind of this smoky aura, almost similar to Ichigo's Zanpakuto when he uses his Bankai, so definitely pulling different elements out of different animes here. And basically, there's like a princess of Jabba. She's the one that gives him this crazy rare sword that's apparently super OP, super powerful. He asks for its power. A lady comes out of it, similar to I think it's Zangetsu, out of Ichigo's sword when he's kind of in his own little mind trance type thing. It lends her power to him because apparently she has a preference for males as opposed to females. She said she is only lending his power this one time, but I'm assuming he is going to learn how to master that sword at some point because he promised he was going to return that sword, which he probably will at some point because he seems like a noble character. But because he's already transferred to level 2 with the sword, the two characters that are like in the tower have no way to really get it back because they're not allowed to, for whatever reason, they're not allowed to compete in the levels. So they must have something to do with like the hierarchy of the tower, whoever the king is in this tower. I'm guessing he's going to have to face him. Maybe the king's on like the final floor or something. Who knows? All we know is that Rachel is probably on the top floor right now looking at the stars. We know that apparently a certain amount of time will pass and Rachel will, maybe she'll be older or something by the time you get to the top floor. We're not really sure how time works in this tower. Not really sure how anything really works in this tower. But then they get transported to the second task, and there's 400 people. So a lot of people, for whatever reason, want to climb this tower. That means there's something pretty good at that top level, is my guess. And my guess is every floor, there's going to be less and less and less people until it's probably going to end up being two friends. And probably like one of the last floors is going to be, you have two people, you have both grown in strength, only one of you can win the prize, kill the other one. You know, only one person can get the prize. Not necessarily kill, but only one person can go to the top level. That's what I'm thinking might end up happening near the end. We'll see how well that prediction plays out. But what happens in this room is there's 400 and it needs to get down to 200. So already halving the amount of people that are going to level 3 from the start. And they take that as let's kill everybody. They don't take that as, oh, nope, I quit, I'm done. Nope, they take it as they kill everybody. Then there's this crazy looking lizard dude who is basically, I think he's just a rare weapon hunter, and he wants Bam's sword. So it kind of ends the episode with like these 4 characters facing each other. There's this giant dude with like a bunch of eyeballs. There's this other guy who's about the same size as Bam. I'm sure he might become a main character as well. He has like a suitcase sword thing, which I thought was kind of cool and weird at the same time. And then we have the lizard dude who is looking at Bam's sword. And I don't know if they're all going against him at this point in time because they all want his sword, or what the deal is with that. I'm assuming that sword is going to cause more trouble than it's worth, just because of the rarity of it, and that only like the noble family or whatever is supposed to be able to wield that sword and nobody else is. But for whatever reason, Bam is able to wield it and somehow utilize some of its power as well, which is pretty nifty. So I'm sure we'll get to see him master that sword further on. Next episode, I'm guessing the 2 smaller guys are probably going to team up to defeat the lizard dude and the giant dude. Bam doesn't seem like he actually wants to kill anybody, which is understandable, but at the same time, he'll probably do whatever he needs to do in order to get to his friend Rachel. So that's probably going to be some more epic fighting. As I said, the problem I have with it is the animation is going to take a little while for you to get used to. So if you're viewing this, wondering if this is something you should watch, yes, I would recommend it, but keep in mind the animation is not going to be crisp and beautiful and clean like your My Hero Academia, your Dragon Ball Super, your Demon Slayer. I'm guessing, though, just based on the popularity from episode 1, that possibly season 2 might go that way. Either that or they'll leave the same style, but we'll just have to wait and see. It's based off of I think it's called a Weebtoon, which I had no idea what that was, so I had to look what that up was. But I believe it is, it's South Korean based. So, like, there's, like, several different names for it. It was actually hard to try to find it because I looked up Tower of God. It came up on Crunchyroll. You know, you can watch it there if you want. There's a Japanese name, there is an American name, and there is a South Korean name. So, it's a little bit tricky to find, needless to say. Anyway, I look forward to watching the rest of the show. As I said, I'm going to just have to suck it up and get used to the animation. We've been spoiled with some of the, especially the shonen anime, we've been spoiled with the kind of beautifulness, especially of Demon Slayer. So as I said, just suck it up, accept the animation for what it is, enjoy the storyline. I was watching Yu Yu Hakusho, and going back on that, that's definitely a downgrade from today, but I mean, technology, you know, it gets progressively better, so you deal with what you can. My name is Steve Gray. Thank you for watching, and as always, have a good one.